Good evening, peeps. Hey, for you that have not heard yet, get my chair set here. Art Acevedo has taken a position as chief of Miami City PD. He'll be leaving Houston, and I'm not going to sit here and say a lot of bad things about him because, overall, I think he has been good for the city. Has he been perfect? Absolutely not. I had a good working relationship with Art up until he failed to fire the police officers that broke into and murdered the Tuttle family in their home and their dog. But he's also done a lot of good things for this department, and it's not fair to ignore those. He brought morale up. He has instituted training programs that have never been seen before. And his use of deadly force policy, which he heavy-handedly enforces, is unheard of in any police department that I'm aware of. So, of course, that resulted from the debacle with the Tuttles. So there is positive and negative to say about him, and I guess probably you could say that about anybody. So I don't wish him ill. It is unfortunate, though, that he leaves this city with over $1 billion in lawsuits. We have lawsuits pending that look like they will pay out over time. Over $1 billion. We have never, ever had that kind of lawsuit money owed out or pending payout in the history of the city of Houston. And of course, a large portion of that comes from the Tuttle debacle. But, I wish him well in Miami. Hopefully now, let's see who's going to step up and fill his shoes. It appears that they have selected Chief Finner to step in, and I'm going to pull up a news story on that in just a second. Now, I know Chief Finner, and in the minority community, he is not well thought of. My personal interactions with him have been favorable. I've never had an issue with the guy. There's also the guy that they're now making the assistant chief. It's a new position. I forget how they worded it, but they've created a new position for him, and that's Slinker. We'll get to it in a second. But either of them were the likely choices to replace Art Acevedo. And are they good choices? Either of them are equally good and bad. Again, they have their good points, their bad points. So let me get to this news story here for you guys.
To you, I'm Mia Gradney. Well, there will soon be new leadership at HPD. Today, Houston's mayor named Troy Finner the city's next police chief. He currently serves as an executive assistant chief. Adam Bennett is live outside City Hall. Adam, Troy Finner knows HPD very well.
Mia, he is a 31-year HPD veteran and now second in command under outgoing Chief Art Acevedo. And the mayor said he wanted someone that could hit the ground running.
My goal was to find someone who was fully capable, and I underscore fully, capable of leading this department from day one.
After several interviews over 4 days, Mayor Sylvester Turner didn't have to look far to find his city's next police chief.
I am announcing the appointment of Executive Assistant Chief Troy Finner as the city's next chief of police.
Mayor Turner said Executive Assistant Chief Troy Finner knows Houston's diverse neighborhoods and people. He was born in 5th Ward, raised in Hiram Clark, graduated from Madison High School, and got his master's at UH Clear Lake. The incoming chief has worked in every aspect of HPD since 1990.
He has earned the trust and respect of people in every corner of our diverse community. He is strong, he's a decisive leader, and he is someone people follow, listen to, and genuinely like. And since I have been mayor, I can tell you he is a straight shooter.
Incoming Chief Finner said Houston's top challenges are the same facing many other major cities: COVID and a spike in violent crime.
At the very top of my agenda is going to be reducing homicides, reducing violent crime. At the same time, building that trust in the community.
And City Council could approve Chief Finner's appointment as soon as next week. Meanwhile, current Chief Art Acevedo will stay on for a few weeks during the transition before he heads to Miami to become that city's next police chief. Mia?
All right. So there you have it. My issues with Finner are pretty simple. He comes from the department. He's an insider, not an outsider, and that a lot of times puts his loyalty in the wrong place. Instead of being his loyalty lying with the community, it will lie with, his brothers in blue. But having said that, I will tell you about just a brief story about Finner at a BLM protest that I documented. The
Priceline can save you up to
HPD
60% on top hotels.
There. Sorry about that. A BLM event that I was documenting, there was a young lady that some officers bullied, and they arrested her because they said she had struck them. I saw the whole event, had the entire event on video, and she never touched them. It was all them, and these were crooked HPD officers that did that. She was already handcuffed, put in the paddy wagon, and was on her way downtown when I caught Finner and showed him the video. He called the paddy wagon back. She was removed from the paddy wagon, uncuffed, and set free. So I will say this about Finner. He's not scared to, if he sees something going wrong, he's not scared to step up and make it right. And perhaps he will continue to do that. I am hopeful. But, only time will tell, and we just have to wait and see how that pans out. Guys, thanks for taking a minute to talk to me or listen to me. If you're not talking, you're listening. Thanks for taking a minute to listen to me. I appreciate it. And hope you guys have a good evening. See you later.